So to begin with today's video, we are going to study female reproductive system. So let's start. Children, female reproductive system has also many important parts. The first one is paired ovaries, two ovaries, right and left. Then we have accessory ducts, oviducts, also known as fallopian tube. They are two in number, both towards the right and left. Then we have uterus and vagina. All three of them are accessory ducts. Then we come to external genitalia, mons pubis, vestibule, hymen and clitoris. So these are the main parts of female reproductive system. Let's start with ovaries. So as I said, ovaries are two or pairs, one towards the left and right. These are the primary sex organs which produce ova or egg or female gamete, and also responsible for producing female sex hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Each ovary is about 2 to 4 centimeter in length. They are located on both sides of lower abdomen. You can see here, lower abdomen on both the sides and connected to the pelvic wall and uterus by ligaments. So you see, they are connected to the uterus wall, you see, by ligaments. They have enlarged this and shown to you. So ovaries are attached to the pelvic wall and the uterus by ligaments on both the sides. Now, each ovary is covered by a thin epithelium which encloses the ovarian stroma. So, the ovary is covered all over, you see, by epithelium, and inside the epithelium is the stroma. Okay, inside the epithelium is present the stroma. Stroma has outer cortex and inner medulla. Now this whole stroma or the portion inside is divided into two parts. The outer portion is called the cortex and the inner portion is called the medulla. Okay, ovary contains group of cells, ovarian or Graafian follicles. You can see so many cells are present. These are ovarian cells, also known as Graafian follicles. Each follicle carries a centrally placed ovum. Every follicle is having an ovum inside it. Okay. Now we come to the accessory ducts. So as you see, there are three accessory ducts, oviducts, also called fallopian tube. So these are the fallopian tube or oviduct on both the sides. Okay. Then we come to the uterus. So this is the uterus. Next, vagina. So this is vagina. So all three of them constitutes the accessory ducts in female reproductive system. Now let's start with oviducts or fallopian tube. Each oviduct is 10 to 12 centimeter long. This is oviduct, 10 to 12 centimeter long. You see here. It has three parts: infundibulum, ampulla and isthmus. These three portions combine together to form fallopian tube. Now infundibulum, as you see here, is funnel shaped with many finger-like projections, and these finger-like projections are called fimbriae. These finger-like projections or fimbriae help to collect the ovum or egg, which will be released by the ovary during ovulation. They will catch hold the egg or the ovum which will be released by the ovary. Then ampulla, this is the wider part of fallopian tube, and the isthmus, which is the narrow part, and isthmus is the region which joins the fallopian tube to the uterus. This is isthmus, and this helps to join the fallopian tube to the uterus. The ciliated epithelium lined the lumen of oviduct. So this whole oviduct has lined, it is lined with ciliated epithelium, that is epithelial cells which are having cilia, and this cilia moves, or it lashes around, and it helps the ovum to move further towards the uterus. Now, as the egg or the ovum is captured by the fimbriae, they are pushed into the infundibulum. Then the ciliated epithelium here inside will help the ovum to move forward towards the uterus. Okay. Then the next accessory duct is uterus, commonly called womb. It is inverted pear shaped, you can see here. It is supported by ligaments attached to the pelvic wall. Uterus has three parts. The upper one is the fundus, middle one is the body, and the terminal one is the cervix. So these are the three parts of the uterus. Upper one is the fundus, uterine fundus. Okay, then comes the body, and then comes the cervix. Cervix opens into vagina through a canal which is called cervical canal. The cervix opens into vagina through a canal which is called cervical canal. Uterine wall. Now this is the wall of the uterus. The uterine wall is made up of three layers. The external layer is perimetrium, which is quite thin. Then the middle one is myometrium, thick layer, and it contains smooth muscles. Smooth muscles, if you remember, unstraighted muscles, which are involuntary. And the innermost layer, which is very important, the endometrium. Now this layer is made up of many glandular and vascular tissues. That means it contains a lot of glands and vessels. Okay, so endometrium is the innermost. Then comes myometrium, which is made up of smooth muscles, and perimetrium, it is quite thin. So this is uterus. Now the third accessory duct is vagina. It opens into the exterior, the cervix, you see, and this is the vagina. It opens to exterior between urethra and anus. The lumen of vagina is lined by glycogen-rich mucous membrane consisting of sensitive papillae and Bartholin's gland. Now this region is quite sensitive. Now the secretions of Bartholin's gland will help in lubrication so that the penis can enter easily into the vagina during the sexual contact. These secretions will help the vagina to get wet so that the penis enters the vagina during the sexual act. So now we come to the external genitalia or the vulva portion of female reproductive system. It consists of mons pubis, vestibule, hymen and clitoris. Now you can see the pictures here. Mons pubis, clitoris, this is the urethral opening, labia majora, labia minora, vagina and anus. Children, mons pubis is a cushion of fatty tissues here covered by pubic hair. Vestibule, now this is all vestibule, labia majora, minora, a median channel. It includes labia majora, large fleshy, fatty and hairy outer folds, surrounds the vaginal opening. Labia minora are small, thin and hairless inner folds. Labia majora are outer folds, labia minora are inner folds which are surrounding the vaginal opening. Next is hymen, maidenhead, also called as maidenhead, a membrane which partially covers the vaginal opening. This is a membrane which generally covers the vaginal opening and it is often torn during the first coitus. Now coitus means the first intercourse or the first time when the penis enters the vagina. This hymen breaks and some bleeding will occur. Now hymen may also be broken by sudden fall or jolt or insertion of vaginal tampon, active participation in some sports if the girl is quite quite into cycling or horse riding or running, then also the hymen can be torn. So in some women, hymen persists even after the coitus. So it depends upon case to case. So hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity. So it doesn't mean ki hymen is broken, so that means the girl is not virgin. That's not the case. There can be many other reasons for the breaking of hymen. Then comes the clitoris, highly sensitive organ lying just in front of urethral opening. This is all about female reproductive system.